that he was upset because he believed that Boo snitched on Mo?
Yes.
Yes, you recall telling Gaither that?
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
I stand the objection.
Do you recall independently Kel being upset with you because you hung out with Boo? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall saying to Kel, whatever Boo did has nothing to do with me?
Yes.
Now, do you recall in this January 28th interview speaking with Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis about this conversation between Thug and Kel at the Cascade skating rink in more detail?
Can you say it again?
Sure. Do you remember in the January 28th interview talking to Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis about the conversation that Kel and Thug had at the Cascade skating rink?
Yes.
Okay. What do you remember telling Detective Gaither about that phone call?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither in this January 28th interview?
Sir.
Yep. It's a prior and consistent statement.
I'll rule the objection. Overrule, sir. Okay. You may answer the question, sir.
Do you recall? I'll ask the question again. Do you recall Thug and Kel speaking while at the Cascade skating rink in 2015?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither about that phone call?
Yes.
Okay. What do you remember telling Detective Gaither about that phone call?
My word for word?
Whatever you remember.
Oh, I don't know. I don't recall.
Okay. Do you remember first telling Detective Gaither that you and Kel had said that the beef was over? You told Detective Gaither that.
Yes.
All right. Do you recall, again, telling Detective Gaither in this interview that Kel asked you to call Thug?
Yes.
Do you recall what Thug said in 2015 to Kel?
Yes.
Yes, you remember what Thug said?
I don't recall what was said. I don't remember what was said.
Okay.
I don't remember me talking to the investigators about it.
All right. Do you remember telling Detective Gaither that when Kel got on the phone, that Thug said the beef ain't over with until you pay for my window? You shot my window.
Yes.
Yes, you remember telling Detective Gaither that?
I don't remember what I done told the police.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Are you just saying yes now to speed up your questioning?
Most definitely.
Okay. Now, do you recall independently that after Thug told Kel, beef ain't over with until you pay for my window, you shot my window, that you told Kel what you told Kel?
Yes.
What do you remember telling Kel?
Yes.
So you told Kel, yes?
Yes.
Do you recall telling Kel, look, what y'all got going on, this has nothing to do with me?
Yes.
Do you recall also that you told Thug that your beef with Kel is over with?
Yes.
Do you recall what Thug said to you after you said that?
Yes.
What did he say to you?
What did who say to me?
What did Thug say to you?
When?
While he was on FaceTime at the Cascade skating ring.
Who was on FaceTime at the Cascade game ring?
Do you remember testifying earlier that you told Detective Thorpe in January 11th that Kel and Thug,
I don't remember what I told the investigator or Detective Thorpe or whatever.
do you remember telling Detective Gaither in this January 28th interview that Thug said, nigga, I don't care about none of it. Look what y'all got going on. You still shot at me. Just pay for my window. You gonna pay for my window. Hey man, I ain't letting that go.
Yes.
Yes, you remember Thug saying that?
Thug said it?
You said yes, so I'm asking you, what do you remember?
Cause I keep telling you, I don't remember. You keep asking me questions, so I'm just saying yes.
Okay, so are you saying yes, that's what you told Detective Gaither?
I know I ain't complete school, but I think I'm speaking proper English. I told you, I don't recall nothing I said to no police. You keep sitting right here asking me the same question over and over and over and over and over. I'm tired of it. I'm drained.
Okay. Well, if you would just answer the questions
I
properly.
am answering the question. You asked me, I said yes, yes. You keep when I say yes, you ask me the same question over and over and over and over and over.
But did you just tell the court and this jury that you're saying yes just to move the process along?
I think I said it loud and clear.
So again, will you just answer the questions and we can move the process along?
You keep asking. Okay, yes.
Is that what are you answering yes to?
Your question.
Are you lying when you say yes?
Huh?
Are you lying when you say yes?
Am I lying about what?
Any question that I've asked you so far?
Objection made.
Overruled, sir.
I can't be lying because I told you up front that I don't recall.
During the January 28th interview, let me ask you this. Do you remember back in 2015, after Thug and Kel got off the phone, did you speak with Kel anymore about that conversation that he had with Thug?
I don't recall.
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that Kel asked for you to call Nut so that y'all could talk about what his conversation was with Thug?
I don't recall.
Do you recall whether or not you just told Kel to just pay for the window?
I don't recall having a conversation with Kel. Me and him would never have a conversation together.
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither, so you hung up the phone and me and Kel started talking like, man, bro, it's over, bro, just pay for the window?
I don't talk like that.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that Kel's response was, I pay for a window, that nigga tried?
Say that again.
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that Kel's response to you was, I pay for a window, that nigga tried me?
I say that. I'm trying to understand who said what.
I'm asking you, do you recall telling Detective Gaither,
Overruled, sir.
do you recall telling Detective Gaither that?
I don't recall.
All right. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that you said you told Kel you got a problem with Thug, you don't have a problem with me?
You asking me what now?
I'm asking you, do you remember telling Detective Gaither that in response to what Kel said, you said to Kel, you got a problem with Thug, you don't have a problem with me.
So why am I talking to Kid if that was true? I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't recall.
Thank you. Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither also about the night at Club Crucial when Kel hit you in the back of the head?
I probably did.
Do you recall going in more detail with Detective Gaither about what happened that Monday that Kel punched you in the back of the head?
You say that again?
Sure. Do you remember going in more detail with Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis about that Monday night at Crucial?
I don't know. I don't know the recall.
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither about the type of money that you had? You had a whole bunch of hundreds and a whole bunch of 20s.
Probably so.
Do you remember saying that or you don't remember?
I don't remember. I don't remember when they was questioning me. Whatever I said, I don't recall what I said.
Okay.
It was just I can't repeat what I said because I just said what I said.
And what you told them was that the truth about what happened that Monday at Club Crucial?
I told them whatever I said to them is what I told them. So when they asked me questions, whatever I thought I wanted to say, that's what I said.
Was it the truth or were you just making stuff up?
I don't recall what I was telling them, so I can't answer that.
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither in a little more detail that you walked up and you tried to dap up Kel, but he did not grab your hand?
I'm not walking up down nobody up.
Do you remember saying to Detective Gaither, so they walked up like, is it good, bro? I'm like, yeah, all good. I reached out the other hand, but he didn't grab my hand.
I don't recall saying it.
Okay. Do you recall seeing an individual named Pokey at Club Crucial on this same night where Kel punched you in the back of the head?
Okay, let me make myself clear, right? Because you keep asking me about things I don't told investigators in the past. I can't say from when to when, but so much was going on. My name was on everything. The police kept coming to grab me. Every time they grabbed me, I had a different story for them. I know 100% facts, and I'm telling you now, I was not truthful. I was saying whatever they wanted me to say. I was saying whatever I could come up with. I was trying my best to convince them that I didn't do nothing, that I'm an innocent person, and that people put their hands on me. When they ask me about any of these things, you sitting here keep asking me step by step by step by step. And I'm telling you now, because you asked me, was I being truthful?
Okay.
I know I wasn't being truthful.
So is your testimony today that you lied in every interview that you did in 2015?
See, you the way you asking that, I don't recall what I was saying in the interviews, but I'm telling you now, when they was questioning me 2015, 14, whenever they was questioning me, I was lying. I was making up stories. So when they were asking me about this right here, I was making it up. When they were asking me about this right here, I was making it up. And when they was getting me and they were letting me go, I'm just telling you.
Do you recall telling every detective?
Every time they got me, I have told the police, I tell y'all whatever y'all want to hear, just let me go.
Do you recall telling every detective in every interview, you got to believe me, I'm telling y'all the truth? Okay.
That sound like me.
Do you recall telling every detective in every interview that you can go fact check what I'm telling you?
Say that again.
Sure. Do you recall telling every detective in every interview that you had in 2015, you can go check what I'm saying so you can believe me?
Probably. I don't know if I said it or I ain't said it.
In some of those interviews, were you in custody? Were you arrested in some of those interviews?
I think so.
Okay. Do you recall telling detectives in those interviews that you're just trying to get out of jail? So I'm going to tell you all what happened so you can check it and I can get out of jail.
Yeah, I told the investigators that I remember, I think in one of the interviews, they was locking me up and my child's birthday was coming up. And when they got me, I said, listen, man, whatever y'all want me to say, I would tell you right now. Just tell me what to say and I would say it. Tell me what y'all want to know and I would tell you. So if they would have asked me about President Trump, I would have had a story about Trump. If they would ask me about you, I would have had a story about you. Whatever to convince them that I ain't do nothing, it wasn't me. That's what my intention was. So you're asking me about interviews, and I keep telling you, you keep asking me step by 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 step. This is what I did. When they got me on this day, and I was going to jail, I try to come up with something to tell them. That's why I can't tell you what I said. I was making it up.
What benefit would it be for you to lie to the police if you were trying not to be in trouble?
I was hoping to convince them so they could let me go.
So why would you lie to convince them?
What you mean? Why would I lie to convince them?
Right. Why would you lie to convince them if you wanted to not go to jail?
Why would I lie to convince them to not go to jail?
Right.
But they don't know that I'm lying.
Well, they didn't let you go immediately, did they?
Sometimes they let me go.
Right.
But when the time they let me go, I thought I was smarter than them.
Did the detective say that they had to fact check what you said before they let you go?
Can you say it again?
Sure. Did the detectives tell you that they had to fact check what you were telling them?
And you know, in some situations.
Right. And so what benefit would it be to lie if they told you that they had to fact check it?
Oh, it wasn't no benefit because what they did was they picked and choose what they wanted to take from me, and they still left me in jail. So they came back and beat me in the butt.
Okay. So going back to my question from January 28th, 2015, did you see Pokey at the club?
You want me to be honest with you? I think I just did. I just told you the God honest truth of what I did from January from 2014 until 2021. Every time they got me, they already know me. They already know I got a whole bunch of bullshit to say.
I'm gonna ask you to refrain from cursing. What harm?
Oh, sorry, everybody. No disrespect. I'm sorry about that. But
Overruled, sir. Overruled, sir.
What harm would have come from telling the truth about you and your friends?
can you explain it?
Sure. What harm? Why would you need to lie if you were just trying to tell them about what you and your friends were doing?
What?
I sustain the objection.
Going back to the January 28th interview, understanding that you said you lied, did you tell Detective Gaither that you saw Pokey in Club Crucial on the Monday night where Kel knocked you in the back of the head?
I don't recall what I said.
Do you know who Pokey is?
Yes, I do.
Who is Pokey?
A friend.
Of who?
Me.
Okay. Is Pokey related to anyone?
What you mean?
Is Pokey related to Thug?
Is he related to Doug?
Yes, sir.
He may. I can't. He might be.
Have you previously told police that Pokey is Thug's nephew?
Well, if I did, then I guess he is.
Okay. Since you're saying that everything is a lie in all of these interviews, in January 28th, did you tell Detective Gaither and Detective Guinness on the same Monday at Crucial that you walked to the kitchen and everyone was looking back and everybody was walking behind you?
Can you say that again?
Sure. Did you tell Detective Gaither on that did you tell Detective Gaither in that January 28th interview that while you were at Club Crucial, that you walked towards the kitchen, you looked back and you saw everybody walking behind you?
I don't recall what I told investigator, detective, whichever one.
Okay. Did you also tell Detective Gaither in that interview that you put your hand in your pocket, you turned around, and you and Kel were face to face?
I don't recall what I told the investigator.
Did you also tell Detective Gaither in that same interview?
Sir, I'll sustain the objection. You can rephrase that.
Did Kel walk behind you and bust you and hit you in the back of the head, grab you and throw you down?
I'm gonna overrule the objection, Mr. Steele.
Did that occur? Yes or no?
Can you say that again?
Sure. On that Monday night in Club Crucial, did Kel walk behind you, punch you in the back of the head, grab you and throw you down?
No, he walked up to me.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that soon he punched me in the back of the head, grabbed me and threw me down?
No, he walked up to me and hit me in the face.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither what I just asked you?
I don't recall what I told Detective Gaither.
Okay. When he threw you down, do you remember what happened?
I never hit the ground.
What's the basis for your objection, sir? I'll sustain the question.
What happened after he threw you down?
I never touched the ground.
Okay. Did you tell Detective Gaither in the January 28th interview when he threw me down, he had his hands on me and he started pulling at your zipper?
I don't recall what I told the investigators. But after he hit me in the face, I ducked my head and went through the crowd of them.
At any time, do you remember him grabbing your pockets?
I don't recall.
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that he grabbed your pocket and he was trying to get in?
Nobody never took that from me.
Okay. I know earlier you said your head swelled up. Do you recall any other part of your body swelling up?
No, I don't recall.
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither, another person hit me and say, boom, my eye swole up?
I don't recall saying it to them, but somebody else did hit me.
Okay. Do you remember about how many people were hitting you?
No.
Earlier, you said that you ran out of the club. Do you remember telling Detective Gaither, I was really trying to run, but I can't run because they was holding me? They more or less were trying to take your money.
Nah, I never tried to run.
Are you saying now you never tried to run?
No, I just ducked my head and I didn't run, but I just ducked my head and they mainly, after whoever hit me, after they hit me, nobody else didn't touch me.
Okay. Did they ever try to grab your money?
I don't know if somebody tried to intentionally grab my money, but as I'm going through a crowd of people, I was brushing up against people grabbing me and stuff, but not in a way to actually take something from me that I recall.
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither they were grabbing the money, but they wouldn't get it out the zipper right?
I don't recall what I told investigators.
Now, earlier, do you recall Bloody J fighting outside?
Now I was swole, so I was in the parking lot trying to get in my car.
Okay. Do you remember telling Detective Gaither that Moonsunk was fighting Bloody J?
I don't recall.
Now, what was your relationship like with Bloody J?
What you mean?
Were you cool with him?
Was I cool with him?
Yes.
I don't know how to answer that.
How would you describe your interactions with Bloody J?
What you mean?
Do you remember telling Detective Gaither that you've been trying to help Bloody J get in back with them?
I'm trying to help him with?
Get back in with them.
Oh, I don't know what was taking place. I talked to the investigators. I was trying to tell them whatever I think I can convince them to believe. I don't get in people's business to be knowing what they be having going on. But I'm good with coming up with a story.
What would talking about Bloody J have to do? Why would that help you get out of?
Because the investigators they just I don't know, like they so focused on me. I'm trying to get them off of me. They need to go focus on somebody else and get their attention off me.
Earlier, do you recall saying that when you went to speak with Detective Thorpe on January 11, 2015, you went down there because Detective Thorpe called you and told you to called you, and that's why you went down there? Do you remember saying that earlier today?
I believe after they shot somebody, one of my family members, my baby mama house up, that's when the investigators called me. Because they said that it related to something. I don't know. I can't really remember exactly, but that's when I went down for questioning.
Okay. And did you go there voluntarily?
What that mean?
Did you go there because you wanted to go there yourself?
I went there because people told me to go there.
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that everybody's like, nah, wait on them to call you? And I was like, I ain't want to wait. You know what I'm saying? I ain't do it.
I don't recall what I told them.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither? So they were like, just wait. And I'm like, so I wait, but I kept asking more people because they had shot up my girl mama house.
Most time I talked to the police, they had to come and get me.
Did they come get you on January 11th?
They didn't have to.
Okay, you drove down there you had Moonsung take you down there.
Because everybody was telling me to go down there.
Okay. And Moonsung, didn't you encourage Moonsung to come and talk to the police too?
Say that again?
Did you encourage Moonsung to come and talk to the police?
I think I remember telling him that they said, man, you did it. You need to come in here with me.
And do you remember him telling him, nah, I'm going to wait for them to come to me?
No, I think he told me to give the investigator his number and tell him if they wanted him to call him, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you remember telling Detective Gaither? I came out here, I got Montung, and I'm like, you don't want to come in and talk to him, bruh? You know your name in it, bruh. And he's like, shit, I'll wait on them to call me.
I know Detective Gaither she got somebody against me. She making her business to try to get me. So anytime that she trying to question me, I'm gonna spin her every chance I get. But I do not recall what I told her when she questioned me, but when she questioned me, I know she trying to get me.
Okay. Is Detective Gaither able to tell you the answers that are coming out of your mouth?
I stand the question is the form.
Does Detective Gaither know what you think, what you're going to say?
I stand the question.
In the January 28th interview, let me ask you this before I ask you that. Do you know what the relationship was like between Nut and Thug back in 2015?
No,
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither, at least in the January 28th interview, that Nut and Thug was cool?
I don't recall.
Right. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither, on God, I didn't even know?
Here's your objection. I sustain the question.
I think the question was, back in 2015, did you know the relationship between Nut and Thug?
It's still subject to foundation. I'm staying.
But now I'm impeaching him on what he told detectives about his knowledge of the relationship.
I sustained the question before. You still need to lay some foundation as to how they knew each other in that particular time period, okay? That was the basis of Mr. Steele's objection.
Back in 2015, were you familiar with Nut?
Yes.
And were you familiar with Thug?
Well, what do familiar mean?
Well, you just answered that you were familiar with Nut, so
Not.
I sustain the question.
When I just asked you, were you familiar with Nut, and you said yes. Why did you say yes?
Because people have different definition of word things, and I knew of Nut.
Okay.
If that's the same, then I guess.
Did you spend more time with Nut or with Thug back in 2015?
I spent more time with Thug. I didn't hang around Nut.
Did Thug ever speak with you about his relationship with Nut?
No.
Did you ever observe Thug and Nut together?
I never saw those two together. I never been around those two together. No, it never crossed my mind.
So how were you able to tell Detective Gaither that Nut and Thug was cool?
Because they're questioning me, and I'm trying to get them off of me. And she asked me questions about Nut and Thug, I guess, and I'm telling her whatever she asked me. Let's say she asked me a question about the sky. I'm gonna say, yeah, I seen the sky. It's blue. Whatever she asked me, I'm gonna agree to that. I'm gonna say whatever she asked me. If she asked me about this reporter right here, I'm gonna say, yep, she's sitting outside me with white tennis shoes on. I'm gonna say something, just because I want her to believe I'm telling the truth. That I want her to get me out of jail.
What, she has on white tennis shoes, don't she?
Don't you got on white tennis shoes? She got on Chucks.
Right, and they white, right?
What color your shoes is? Okay. She got on Chucks.
So you telling the truth.
What color your shoes is? She said they white.
Right, so you're telling the truth then.
Well, it depends. See, you pick what you want to tell them.
So did you also tell Gaither in another interview that Nut and Thug had problems?
Can you say it again?
Did you also tell Gaither in another interview that Nut and Thug had problems?
See, you saying it right there and there.
So my question for you is, how did you know about any relationship between Nut and Thug?
I didn't.
Earlier, I asked you about the time you spent in Miami. I mean, you recalled you didn't remember. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that you spent about a week in Miami?
I don't recall what I told whoever you just said.
Okay. Now, when you came back from Miami, did you have any concern about Thug and you and y'all relationship?
What you mean?
Did you have any concerns about Thug and you and your relationship?
You asking me?
I am.
Did I have any concern?
Yes.
I just left on with Young Thug?
Yes.
And what my concern was?
I'm asking you if you had any.
If I just left with him, why would I have any?
Okay. Do you remember telling Detective Gaither, so we came back and it was like Thug was trying to get rid of me? You feel what I'm saying?
Had to switch it up.
You had to switch it up.
I had to switch it up.
Why did you have to switch it up?
Because they kept targeting me.
Who is the they?
Investigator Gaither and Dennis.
Why did you have to switch it up to say that Thug was trying to get rid of you? What would that?
Oh, I don't know what I don't know. No. Oh, let's go back.
Okay.
Now I said that he was trying to get rid of me.
Yes.
That's what I told her.
Yeah.
I don't recall what I told her.
Okay, you don't recall that. Do you remember any conversations between you and Thug regarding having a hit on your head?
You said, do I remember having a conversation with Doug about somebody having heat on my head?
Yes.
No, I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that Thug called you and said, bruh, they said I got a hit on your head? And you were like, bruh, you do? And he was like, nigga. And then y'all started laughing.
Oh, you saying that I said Doug had hit out on my head? That's what I'm trying to,
Yes, do you recall?
I thought you were saying that me and him having a conversation and you saying someone else said he had a hit, someone else have a hit on my head?
God bless you.
Are you saying that Young Thug had a hit on my head?
I'm saying, do you recall having a conversation with Thug in which you discussed having a hit on your head? Was my initial question.
Can you ask me that one more time?
Sure. Independently, do you recall back in 2015 having a conversation with Thug about having a hit on your head?
So it was a conversation, I'm trying to make sure I understand you. It was a conversation I was having with him.
Yes.
And I told him that he had a hit on my head?
Just generally.
I'm trying to see, am I understanding you right?
Right, I'm asking you. I'm clarifying. Do you recall generally just having a conversation with Thug about having a hit on your head? Just generally.
So you saying I'm trying to, I don't understand you.
Sure.
You saying I'm talking to him, me and him talking, I'm telling him that he has a hit on my head.
No.
That's what I'm trying to see what you're saying.
I'm asking you, do you remember just being on the phone with Thug and having a conversation about a hit on your head?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know. I don't recall. I don't know.
All right. Do you remember telling Detective Gaither that you and Thug were on the phone and Thug said to you, bruh, they say I got a hit on your head? Do you recall telling Detective Gaither that?
I don't recall.
Okay. And do you recall to tell Detective Gaither in response to that, you said, you do? And then he responded, nigga, and then y'all started laughing.
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall Thug telling you about any concerns that his family had with hanging around you?
I don't think I said family, but I do remember people was coming to me, telling me things.
Telling you things about what?
I'll sustain the objection.
Do you remember telling Detective Gaither that Thug told you that they're saying on the street that you and Thug had beef?
No, I don't recall it.
And that you said you told Thug, man, I haven't heard anything like that.
I think I just told you that right now.
Okay. Do you recall Detective Gaither asking you why would people think that he had a hit on you?
I don't remember what I told the investigators.